Welcome to D Cowboys LA Radio. I'm your host, Eric Trujillo. Well, here we are on a bye week. We wouldn't quite call it a bye week. We're waiting for our opponent, depending who wins this weekend. A couple of things I want to talk about. Jaylon Smith. To me, that's the most exciting thing. He did have an interview with Fish Sports saying that the nerve is regenerating. So what does that mean for us? That means we basically got a top 5 pick, 2 top 5 picks this year with Ezekiel Elliott and Jaylon Smith. Now he's going to be done for the year. He's not going to be playing in the playoffs. He says that if he would have been able to play and activate, he could have been playing at an elite level and helped in the playoffs. So that in itself is just, oh man, music to my ears. Music to my ears. It makes me so happy and makes him be one of my new favorite players, someone to cheer for and see if he can get out there and be what he used to be. So what does Jaylon Smith bring? If you think about taking a little bit of a couple of different players, that's what you get with Jaylon. You get a little bit of pass rush, little Von Miller in there. You get a little bit of coverage, so you got some Sean Lee in there, and just an overall explosive player. So a Sean Lee, Von Miller. He's not Von Miller, he's not Sean Lee. He got a little bit of both. He's a mixture. He's right in between. He can give you a little bit of everything. You wouldn't put him if this was a 3-4, he wouldn't be an outside linebacker. He'd still be a middle. And if you were in our defense, just a 4-3, he wouldn't go down and play that at the end spot. But off of a blitz, he can bring it, and I'm excited. And he can cover, So I'm excited for next year as well. We still got another draft. We still got an off season. We know that we can score. Now we know that we're having some building blocks on the defensive side to have a defense that could set us up for at least a good 3-4 year run. Granted, the nerve is not completely gone. He still has the brace on, but it's regenerating. He has tingling, he has sensation. That means it's firing. That means that hopefully he's already sprinting, he's running. He ran a 4.540, he says. So by the time next training camp comes around, he's gonna be hopefully who he used to be at Notre Dame. So that's the first thing. Very exciting. The second thing. Opponents. Who do we want to play? Who can we play? I'm going to be honest with you. I was thinking about it. Although the Giants match up very well, I want them to come to our stadium. Bring it. Whether it be in this round coming up or if we make it to the NFC Championship and they're there. So I'm not afraid of them. Aaron Rodgers, they say he played like crap against us and then he's been on fire lately. Great. They still don't have a run game. I don't care. Montgomery is not a running back. And they're still not going to stop our run game. So bring them too. I think playing somebody like the Lions, which is a possibility, would actually be a little bit dangerous as well. We might come in there confident because we whooped on them that Monday night. But the score was 21-0, 21-21 at the half. So anything could happen. And I'm not scared of them either. I think we could do just what we did in the second half. It's just a matter of execution. Staying focused, getting it done. It's crazy when you think about football. When you think about catching a football, and this is just like on a smaller level, okay? If you focus on the ball, with the number one thing when you see it coming, you look the ball into your hands, you tuck it under your wrist, you look it into the tuck. If you're just focused on catching that ball and nothing else, not getting hit, no other players coming, just that small thing, you're gonna guarantee that you're gonna catch that ball. Now go to a bigger scale. Everyone does their job. Everyone stays in their zone. Everybody blitzes the way they should pick up. Everybody catches the ball. Everybody's doing what they must. Stay focused on doing what you're doing. And I think we'll see us get to the NFC Championship game and eventually the Super Bowl. Now the team's dangerous. Yeah. Does that mean that we should look them over? No. But I'm not scared of anybody. Bring any of those three. And as I think, just like we have all year, we're going to run the ball on them. If anything, we're going to run more. I could see us giving the ball to Zeke a couple more times than we would have in the regular season. Just feed them all the way down. So bring on whoever it is. Have fun watching the games. I believe tomorrow, Saturday is going to be the Seahawks versus the Lions. And then on Sunday, it'll be the Giants and the Packers. I think they'll both be great games. I think none of them will be a blowout. It'll come down to the end, so have fun watching that. There is a little bit of bad news on today's segment, which I'm sure everybody has heard. Randy Gregory is out indefinitely for the playoffs, and he will be out for next year. So what does that mean? A couple of things, guys. First and foremost, money wise, it doesn't hit us. He gets put on this exception list where he doesn't count against us, so it doesn't hurt us to have him on the team. Am I still expecting it to from it? No. I mean, even though he had a kind of a nice game against the Eagles, I wasn't wowed. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is guy we need. So it doesn't really hurt me too much. What I think is unfair for the young man is that he's gonna be away from the team, as opposed to being like, hey, you can't play, but you could be there, you could practice, you could watch plays, you can be around your teammates, and give some positive reinforcement and company to the kid. You're gonna say, okay, get away from the Cowboys organization completely, and yeah, good luck. Don't smoke pot. Can't do anything else, but don't smoke, okay? And that kind of seems a little bit unfair to me as far as what they're doing, what the NFL does with the whole weed policy. Not fair at all. So hopefully that gets revised. And even if he can't play next year, just let the kid be around the team. Let him be in the playoffs. Let him feel that and say, damn, I want to be in there. I want to be at a Super Bowl. Let that hunger feel. Him being away is going to say, oh, forget this. Forget the NFL. Forget the Cowboys. Forget Roger Goodell. It's not something that's going to feed him or give him a little bit more positivity. So that's the bad news. On the flip side, there's a couple of things. I don't like watching First Take. I don't like watching the other guy's show, Bayless. But it makes me laugh to listen to the things that they say. And contrary, they're on there, and man. First thing they talk about is Romo. Jerry's going to put Romo in. And look, I said it before. I thought Romo should have been the starter as soon as he was healthy. Because I do think he's the better QB at this point. They didn't. They had one more chance to do it. I think with like 3 or 4 games left in the season after the Vikings game, they didn't do it. And I think that was like our last chance. At this point, I wouldn't say, okay, start Romo cold and that's not fair. Let Dak play and hopefully we can win. Now, what I would do, and this is just me, if we're playing the Giants and we're down 14-0 at the half and Dak has been really bad, I don't know, man. At that point, I say, you know what? This is all hands on deck. Put everything in one basket. Say, Tony, here, you can beat the Giants. Let's go for it. I think Tony can beat the Giants. Last couple times he has beat them. He'll pick them apart. So that's the only way I'd put him in. I wouldn't say, hey, you start. And then I think if we were to do that and win the game, the next game it'd be Dak Prescott starting again. I feel like that's the way that the team would go, and just wait to see if they need Tony in the end as like a relief pitcher. That's probably the best way that you can look at it. Which I don't care. Let's win. If Dak gets it done, awesome. If you have to take Dak out and put in the legend to win the game, awesome. What a story that would be. If he plays a part in this to get us to the Super Bowl, even just to get us to it, if he doesn't play, but he's the reason that we won a game and we just move on, and the fans go crazy for this man one more time at the stadium, tell him thank you, that would be awesome. And I think Dak would be cool with it, because Dak seems like he's a great kid, and he's going to be like, whatever it takes for the team to win, and if he's not getting it done, he knows he's the future. He knows that, after this season, Tony's more than likely is going to be gone. I don't think anybody's feelings are going to get hurt, so people need to stop thinking about that. We need to win this game. So whatever it takes. If we can just win it with that, great. If we need Tony Romo's help, great, as long as we win. That's all that I care about. And the game against the Eagles, I didn't do a cover on that because I wanted to wait. With all this time in between games, it just gives me time to sit back and think and listen. And all this cool stuff came out. So for this, if I would have done it Monday, I wouldn't have been able to talk about Jaylon. And then, God bless, it came out. And I'm happy about that. But Eagles game, Mark Sanchez is done. For sure. He ain't coming back next year. And I do think that if we need to make a move in the playoffs or we need to put an extra person on the roster, he's going to be gone. And so we'll see, though. We'll see what happens, because it's still coming up. I think they're going to put Randy Gregory. I don't even know if Randy was ever activated to the actual roster. I think he had some kind of exemption so where he was able to play. But if not, then there's your role for the new guard that we signed, Hooper, which he's a backup. I mean, he's a backup. What do you want? I'm more interested in La'el Collins being back. And I'd rather have La'el on the goal line as an extra lineman than I would clear anybody else. Think of the power behind that. I think this is where football, we're going to have to kick some butt. We're going to have to run the ball. So Sanchez is done. So that means that next year for sure Kellen Moore is going to be back. You got to remember, as much as people say, "Oh, Kellen Moore sucks," he threw for about 400 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the last game he had against the Redskins. So the kid's done it. The kid can throw. The kid can do things right. He's not just going to throw picks for no reason. So I like him as our quarterback for the next couple of years. And he's smart and he helps Coach Linehan. So I think that's the end of Mark, and we're going to see Kellen Moore come back next year as our backup. The rest of the game, Tony Romo, one drive, stud, goes down, touchdown, easy. That pass to T. Will was so nice. Just so nice. If you go back, it's just like a fade away, touchdown, back of the end zone. It was so nice. Love seeing it. Made me happy. Made me happy to have the team be happy. And it kind of made me feel like, okay, cool, let's keep going. I still feel bad for him. But if we win the Super Bowl, it don't matter. If we don't, we're always going to look back and say, who should we have played? That's the problem I have right now. If we lose, we're always going to look back and say, man, who should we have played? So if we win, we're going to be all gravy. Everything's going to be fine. But if we don't, that's when it's always going to eat at the back of my mind. I'm not going to blame Dak. It's not his fault. This is going to fall back on Jerry Jones and Coach Garrett. They made the choice. Now we're going to have to live or die with it. But who knows? You know, all hands on deck better be on the table. If we're down 21-0 at half and they stick with Dak, I'm going to be so upset. Then I'll be upset. You got to try everything. This is our chance right here. Try everything. We're one game away from the NFC Championship. We win next week, we're in the NFC Championship. So that was the impression I got then and there. A lot of controversy between fans going on. Guys, remember, we're all on the same team, man. Be smart. I saw a picture of someone like putting Dak Prescott's jersey in front of Romo's face. Man, shame on you. Remember that this man made us relevant for 10 years. Everybody keeps saying, well, Romo had this, and when has Romo had that? When has Romo had Ezekiel Elliott in his backfield? Ezekiel Elliott is an Adrian Peterson type of player. People say, oh, DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray was hurt for most of his career until eventually he had that breakout season, and then he had a huge season the next year where we went to the playoffs. And that year our defense was terrible. Don't forget that. Tony Romo put this team on his back with DeMarco Murray, and they carried us with the offensive line that they had that year. But the defense was awful. And then, I'll never forget. I hate to say it. I think DeMarco Murray is a good running back, and he's showing that back with the Titans. I'm thankful for what he did for us, but it'll always hurt me that there's a big ape against the Packers, big gaping hole he fumbles. Zeke don't fumble that. Zeke takes that to the house, and guess what? There's no catch controversy. There's nothing. We win that game, and we're on to the next round. And we'd be talking different things. We'd be talking about maybe Tony Romo getting in the Super Bowl that year and he'd be playing right now. So, man, things like that hurt. But before you say anything, remember that. People say, that one year we went 13-3 and we lost to the Giants in the first round. That was more of a team effort thing. And then the pick in the end, and it wasn't Romo. If you go back and look at that play, which I have, trust me, over and over, there's nowhere to go with the ball. But a couple plays earlier, if Patrick Creighton keeps running, it's a touchdown and the game's over. So it's just little things like that. Remember, this is a team game, guys. I remember that Tony Romo carried us for years as our quarterback. Guys, that's what's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this one. Enjoy these weekend's games as we find out who we're gonna be playing. Remember, we are one family, one Cowboys nation. Be smart. Take care of our players. Take care of each other. Have a good weekend.